The UConn Huskies are back on track with a dominant win over Maryland, crushing them by 32 points. They were led by a fantastic offensive display from Paige Beckers, who finished the game with 24 points, with further contributions coming from Edwards, KK Arnold and Shade, all of those girls playing pretty terrific offensive games themselves. However, I think the biggest thing that stuck out to everyone today was the insane defensive performance from the Huskies, and in particular, their starting backcourt of Aubrey Griffin and Paige Beckers. Those two were the difference makers in this one, and if they continue playing defense like that consistently, they will put UConn in a great position to win night in and night out. So that's what I want to specifically focus on today. In this video, I'll be breaking down how UConn's defense led to their thrashing of the Terrapins, and in particular, why the defensive combo of Griffin and Beckers should be a backcourt combination the Huskies utilize more regularly going forward, because the two absolutely locked up Maryland's guard-dense lineup today. Before we start, if you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more women's basketball content like this. But with that being said, let's talk about the UConn Huskies defense. The Huskies entered this game with a bit of a chip on their shoulder, wanting to make up for their disastrous outing against NC State a few days ago. Additionally, the Huskies were going to be without AZ Fudd, who suffered a knee injury in practice, and to begin this game, her absence and the lack of shooting was very apparent. UConn and Maryland were horrendous offensively to begin this game, and UConn's long-range shooting concerns lasted the full 40 minutes, going 6 for 19 from behind the three-point line. However, despite shooting below 35% from the field at quarter time, UConn ended up shooting almost 53% from the field, storming to a blowout win to end the game. So, how did that happen? Well, one silver lining from the AZ Fudd injury was increased minutes and a starting role for Aubrey Griffin. Her impact was immediately felt as she dominated the glass in the first quarter. She had 8 boards in the first half, her energy on the glass being a major boost for the UConn offense as it really struggled early. UConn's rebounding was something that let them down against NC State, so to have this kind of presence on the glass from Aubrey, a 6'1" guard of all people, was a huge spark for them. Griffin ended this game with 13 rebounds, 5 of those being offensive, and that undoubtedly contributed to UConn getting the offense flowing and preventing their cold form from behind the arc from hurting other areas of their game. Besides maybe Paige, Griffin was for sure the player of the match. She led the way in all aspects and her effort was contagious for the Huskies. I say that because Griffin also led the way defensively for UConn too. She had 4 blocks tonight, which is brilliant for any player, let alone a guard. Her tough, physical guarding frustrated Maryland throughout the night and was critical to getting UConn easy buckets on the other end. This example here epitomizes what she was doing all game long. On this first possession, she gives her opponent 0 room to create, sticking with her as she attempts to drive, forcing a bad, heavily contested shot that clanks off the rim. Then, on the very next possession, she defends the post brilliantly, staying upright and contesting the jumper perfectly to get the deflection block. Paige Beckers was also absolutely incredible on the defensive end tonight, finishing with 6 steals and 2 blocks. I've made a video on this ages ago, but Beckers' defense is truly underappreciated. She reads passing lanes so well, rarely gets in foul trouble despite being a handsy defender, which enables her to pick pockets at a level many others can't, and just has a great game sense on that end. Like here, she reads the pass to the cutting Maryland player, taps it away and gets UConn out on a fast break. Her timing is impeccable on this end, to put it simply, and that can be seen in one of her blocks from this game. The combination of these two defensively completely disrupted the Terps offense and got UConn out in transition for easy fast break looks that got UConn's score ticking over. It really opened the floodgates in that second quarter for their offense and ultimately led to that second half humiliation of Maryland. In the end, UConn held Maryland to just 26% shooting from the field in this game. 26%. I cannot understate how insane that defensive pressure is. They also forced Maryland into making 27 turnovers, which again is a ludicrous amount. While the offense does need some work still, the defensive intensity was unforgiving and ruthless, and it highlighted the immense potential UConn have on that end. It simply turned the game around for them after their slow start offensively. Against NC State, the Huskies' defense was dismantled with poor communication and rotations, but that changed completely today. It's in large part thanks to the excellent play of Paige Beckers and Aubrey Griffin, whose leadership and IQ caused Maryland to really struggle on this end. Aubrey and Paige may not get the regular recognition that other guards in the nation do for their defense, especially Paige, whose world-class offensive talent obviously overshadows the little things she does defensively that make a major positive impact for UConn, but they are so important to helping this team reach their potential. Hopefully Auriemma recognizes this, because when those two shared the court together tonight, there was nothing Maryland's offense could generate. In the future, maybe I'd sub out Caroline Ducharme because she struggled a little bit to start this season and bring Aubrey in full-time as a starter, because with small ball lineups becoming more frequent at the college level, having quality defensive backcourts throughout the 40 minutes is going to be important. And while Nika Mule is obviously great for UConn, Griffin and Bueckers deserve their share of love too, because they stifle offenses just as much. With consistent play like we saw today, UConn's talent pool on paper can certainly take them far, not just offensively, but defensively too. Overall, this wasn't the prettiest Husky game ever, but there were a ton of good signs that we didn't see against NC State. And even though the offense in the half court probably didn't flow how they would have liked, and there's some 3-point looks that I know they'd love to have a second chance at, the Huskies were able to overcome these issues with brilliant defensive efforts and in turn, create plenty of opportunities in transition. It was all sparked by the heart displayed by Aubrey Griffin in that first quarter. And if her and Bueckers can turn in those performances regularly enough with support from a big like Edwards, that core defensively may become a cheat code the Huskies can use to win against other legitimate ranked sides. If you made it this far, you must have enjoyed this analysis, so be sure to like the video and subscribe for more women's basketball content like this. Anyway, with that being said, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.